is today is about the kitchen itself. And I just said the intro to the video, right? And it's about that is happening amongst humanity that involves marriages, that involves relations, that involves the kitchen behind our generations' anger and aggressions. And what we are cooking today is the sweet pumpkin in the kitchen. And we really want to share this video, so we really don't now want any interferences with this video. And with what's happening in the kitchen, but these YouTubers that can watch our previous videos that now has not been shared, that we really want our generation to learn to the Mr. and Mrs. Smithness in the generation itself, right? And because on Monday we're having a relationship discussion, and we're having our relationship Facebook talk with AWOKH Business, right? And we had a lot of interferences in our house, and I had a lot of interferences in my house while I was doing my cooking, right? But this Sunday and yesterday, I think the New Zealanders were angry also, and there's a lot of anger in New Zealand currently. And I learned that there's a lot of things happening and a lot of people that controls our households, right? So there's people that's tuned into our households, and it relates to a lot of anger in our generation. So today we want the cooking to focus on that. That is the man-woman arguments, and that is the aggression in our generation. And I really want to share this video. And that is the things that so many relationship partners wants to hide. I come from a country, South Africa, where relationship partners harmed one another, right? And there was a lot happening in South Africa. And there's a lot of people in the world that know exactly what happened in relationships in South Africa. And therefore, AWOKH Business is very firm on the open-mindedness in a generation. We are very open-minded to what is happening in our generation, and our education is exactly that. And today in our education room, we're going to share what we have, right? Dorian has already started beef cooking, and he came to start the beef cooking, and I'm going to do, and he added potatoes to that, and I'm going to share that with everyone. And then I'm going to do the veggie steaming, and then he's probably going to do the sweet pumpkin. And then we're probably going to share that video. And what I'm enjoying with that is a homemade milkshake, right? And we want to share today on that. That no one is going to not realize what is really happening in this world, and how it really sometimes can affect us human beings on this earth, and how everyone wants to sometimes throw their side eye, and they don't want to realize what is happening, and they want to paint a perfect picture and disturb other people's houses about that. And today I have been very firm with South Africa about disturbance in my house from South African communications and from voices that I hear on computerized objects in my house, from my cell phone behind our television. There's constantly people talking when the television is off, and they're talking to me directly. And it's constantly a few devices that can record in our household. And it's very disturbing sometimes to us, and it makes us sometimes confused and paranoid. And those are things that we as a generation need to focus on that is happening. And that had Putin and Zelensky in that war, and that had Angelina Jolie that educated the Mr. and Mrs. Smith film to our generation, and the knives on the table, and the requirement to put the knives away, because there's a whole lot of people that are busy with other things in our households and in marriages itself. And that's where we want to educate about this season. Another thing that I want to quickly share is the Maoris has been angry yesterday, and it's been on the news, and they went paranoia, and they went to go and fight with the Indians again, because this is their house. Also, New Zealand is their house, and when they get angry, and when they go on television and they go and be angry about it, it is the people that are aggressing us in our houses, but with lots of devices and people that wants to come and own you away from your land, and it makes a generation of people aggress. And me and Dorian has been aggressed with one another also, and it's very, 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 very. You can hear the people's voices. You can hear on television. They put the programs on, and then they talk behind the television screens. And then later Dorian comes in, and he's totally angry, and I'm totally angry, and it's a whole environment in the house. But Mr. and Mrs. Smith film explains exactly what's happening in our households about that. What I'm gonna be sharing today is he has added potatoes right already to the pot. So I'm gonna actually just now share this steamed veggies that we are doing. He's probably gonna do the pumpkin, and we're gonna put the phone on a pause for that. And then we are going to continue sharing on the video. So let me quickly I really haven't found the pause button yet. So that's the veggies that we're going to see. We're not gonna have rice today. So it's gonna be broccoli. It's gonna be broccoli and cauliflower. It's gonna be potato. He's already added potato to the pot. So we're gonna check that potato. And that is there. And then we're gonna have the sweet pumpkin. I wanted to make the rice today, but we are going to just listen to the beef and we are going to do the simple things of that. Right. And another thing that I want to say, today we're not gonna be formal with our cooking, right? Sweet pumpkin goes with the sweet cinnamon and with the butter, and we're gonna add that to that. We're gonna have our veggies, and Dorian has added garlic and flavor to his beef. So we are going to share also on that, and also on what's happening. And we really do not want to want we really do not want to not say it, right? Everyone wants to say that it's affecting our generation and its communication, and it's through the television stations. In South Africa has had a trend of those relationship issues. And some people are forcing it in households. Certain people in our countries already know what they are doing, and that is aggressing other people. In this world, they do it on a human level, and it causes disturbance in the house. In the Mr. and Mrs. Smith film explains it exactly. And a lot of South African women has lost their lives by it. Yesterday was sitting outside and I was thinking about the woman that lost her life when her husband came from work, and she was a quiet woman and she was sitting outside the day and she was non-disturbing to anyone. And her husband came from work and he was a policeman, so he was probably also angry. And while he came home, he just was angry that day, and the woman lost her life by things that happens in a generation that can sometimes be prevented. And there's a lot of women that the same things has happened, right? In South Africa, and people try those things in our households and in marriages and in our kitchens, and it has got to do with the kitchenness of it. And the people that are doing that, that are really behind the television teams and the celebrity houses, that finds themselves, it's a technological thing that they do, but it's not only technology, it's on television. And the Mr. and Mrs. Smith film explains exactly to humanity what is happening in our kitchens and how we should handle that. We should put the knives away in places that are fine, and when we feel aggressed, and when the people in mankind, the teams of people, they do that, and they make us aggressed, then we allow our kitchens to have the knives in the drawer and the knives away. It's almost like steel on steel, and it makes us, it's something that they do. It's got to do with the cars also, and the steel of the knives. And we were educated about magnets, and it's a human function in the universe that people on this earth are fiddling with. And when they fiddle with that function, it makes people depressed, and it paranoids them, and people get aggressed by it. But the Mr. and Mrs. Smith film explains a lot about that. So we just need to be cautious of that also. I'm just going to start quickly steaming my veggie, and then I'm going to just try and be a bit calm and share a bit on what we have available and where the beef started at, right? Where the beef pot started at, and with the Christmas season. So the YouTubers behind the scenes that listens in and that is busy on our Facebook pages. There's people working for YouTube, for Facebook, for Instagram, and they are sitting in offices and they have access to people's cell phones. And they are also, it's a whole lot of technological functions that causes the disturbance in the house. South Africa knows exactly what people are doing. And a lot of South Africans know about it, but there's a lot of people that really doesn't know what people are doing, and it's really sometimes abusive to households that can sometimes find themselves fine, and that's just where our generation needs to learn to not aggress one another, and to learn to not be abusive to one another. What we are enjoying is a milkshake with ice cream, with bananas. We've made it this morning, ice cream, banana. We've added some chocolate, and we've added some yogurt. And we did it in Kiara's milkshake maker, and it was very nice. Let me quickly start with my steamed veggie. what we want to focus on today, let me just put my bed here because I really want to just put the skinniness of the bed. So what we have is our normal. Why we are also doing pumpkin, right, is because it is going to our salad season, and with salad season, the sweet pumpkin goes good when you start to eat the lighter seasonal foods. And I really didn't want my kitchen disturbed, and now my kitchen is disturbed by a whole lot of anger in our generation, and a whole lot of things. The Maoris were running with guns also, and Dorian is also a whole lot not working with me today with what I want to do. And it's dysfunctional. It becomes dysfunctional, everyone. And when you are working on a season, and you really only want to focus on the season, and that's what we are focusing on Monday, and Monday with my relationship talk. And maybe that's what people are mislistening with what I'm saying. I said I want to talk about the marriage vow, and the marriage vow amongst mankind is exactly that. That when we look about all the introductions of marriage in humanity, we learn that there's so much that we are educated about the marriage itself. And the marriage vow that we are going to talk about on Monday in our relationship talk is the nurturingness of that is our every reaction that becomes the vineyard, right? And that becomes the seasons that mankind have. And that becomes the availability of that is the season that produces the grapes in its bestness, right? And those things are that Ribea Elise explains the emotions of our generation. And we can sense one another's emotions. And I want to focus tomorrow on my four brothers and the education of relationship in our household and of marriage in our household. And I also want to educate, and I'm really distracted today with this wholeness of the whole aggression in New Zealand and people disturbing me in my house and the disturbance on my social media page and the aggression that it causes in households. I'm really disturbed by it. And I'm really dysfunctioned by it because I really wanted the marriage vow discussion tomorrow to be fine and to be exactly that I really want to give my opinion about. And it's really that our generation looks upon the marriages and they want to look at the perfect picture, and then things are happening around them and married couples are fighting. And it's now not only man and woman marriages, but man and woman and woman. And that has grown, that has been there for years, but that has grown in our generation, and the requirement to educate the generation in that. And my kitchen is disturbed today, and I cannot accept that disturbance, really. I cannot accept my kitchen to be so disturbed by South Africa and by everyone who listened in now behind YouTube and behind New Zealand television that I want to talk about the marriage vow. I know there was a film written on it, but I do not have nothing to do with the film. I really wanted to explain my opinion with the relationship talk, and really this spring month I really wanted it to be the marriage vow discussion that is non-disturbed. And now it's disturbed with aggression, and I really am going to be fine with that. But I'm really, it's probably because it's happening in our generation, but it should not have been disturbing my kitchen about it. That's what I'm very firm about. And that's why I get angry for television teams, because they want to do everything. They want to steal everything. And now when Ribea discusses the marriage vow, they now steal Ribea Elise's whole relationship talk discussions. And then they disturb Ribea Elise's house about it. Now when Ribea Elise now go and discuss the marriage vow, then they want to steal the recording, and they already now want to fight because they've already steal my whole relationship education on Facebook. And they really don't allow people to listen to my YouTube relationship discussions. And it's disturbing to me because television are doing that. They're stealing from our houses, and it is disturbing. They like that Aisha business that ran after Ribea Elise to go and start her Aisha business when I started my purpose room business, my purpose, Awoken Purpose business on Facebook page, Malvina Lachikan Abrams in the Netherlands. Then I started my Awoken Purpose business on Facebook page, right? Because I'm always good with motivation and with giving my opinion and with sharing my life. And my life is very crazy and very crazy and very fine also. But then I was explaining my opinion, and then she went to go and steal my whole business, and she started the whole Aisha business about it. And that made me very angry of Paul, because we grew up together, and there's some communication of her in my house that and she's married to an Indian guy. And she married with him in the Netherlands, right? And they're staying in the Netherlands, and their surname is Mbabani, and is Mbatani. And there's a whole lot that they did wrong, and now it's disturbing my house, and it's disturbing a Vogue business, and they are working constantly on trying to disturb me, and I'm very angry about it. So I'm staying in an Indian house, but this Indian guy, I don't know if he's in with them on it. And their family has been in real estate in South Africa, corruption, right? Her father has been in real estate, and they have been declared as corrupted in South Africa those years, right? And their grandfather was in the church, my mama's friend, and she's my sister's friend, but she's not my friend, and we don't really like the American celebrity house. So when they do things that they disturb our houses about, then I'm not going to accept those disturbances in my house. And then they went to go and do a whole celebrity thing, and Ribea is not about celebrity. Ribea is about, this is my life and this is me, and that's what I wanted to do. But they came to disturb it with a whole African American attitude of celebrity. They learn from the African American, the celebrity house is like this, they have to fight with one another, and it's not actually like that. They have learned wrong, and now they want to come and educate me that wrongness, and I'm really not fine with it. I'm very disturbed today about that process. And all the South Africans did whatever the Americans wanted them to do. And Ribea Elise is a person, I do what I want to do, and I do what I'm being educated. We're going to talk tomorrow about my husband's previous marriage. Yeah, I'm going to tell everyone tomorrow about that. That's actually what's disturbing my house, because people don't want you to talk about it. Now, okay, let me tell everyone that. So he was married to a woman, Vanessa from Kraaifontein, and her mother is from Swaziland. And he came to meet me. Her mother's name is Anna from Swaziland. My mother's name is Anna, and we're also from Africa, somewhere in Africa. My auntie said the other day from Lesotho. Now, he came to meet this Anna after he was married to that Anna daughter. And that Anna daughter has a brother and sister, he said, and the one is gay and the other one is gay. And then he came to marry this Ribea Elise. And then he came, and they had lots of fights and things about whatever this is. And then they got divorced. And then he came to marry this Ribea Elise. And now that whole process is an interesting story, but it's very interesting. She's staying in Thailand, yes, in Thailand. His ex-wife. And that's Ribea Elise is in Auckland, New Zealand. It's a whole interesting story. I don't know how people, he just came into the bar, and I was working in the bar, and I was like, ooh. And then I'm like, I never saw you in my bar. Okay, so I really don't know. The world is an interesting place. That sounds like Carol Bacon, right? Carol Bacon, the world is an interesting place. Sweet pepper over our veggies. Ooh, today we're focusing on the broccoli and cauliflower. And it's probably going to be very nice. Now is baby's time. Baby's time to the month of pregnancy that we are in. Let's steam that. We're gonna share that video, the steamness of that. So I'm just doing the sweet pumpkin quick. And we're just gonna focus today on our sweet pumpkin with everyone. But I really wanted to now have the sweet pumpkin cookie this style. With the butter and the cinnamon. Okay, we're gonna do the sweet pumpkin education for those of y'all who loves the education of sweet pumpkin. Let's quickly do the sweet pumpkin education with everyone. But really don't disturb my sweet pumpkin historian. Because I'm gonna be angry. Just quickly share the sweet pumpkin education. What the sweet pumpkin education, right? So I never used to eat sweet pumpkin. My brother Anton never used to eat sweet pumpkin. So we're gonna do this part of the sweet pumpkin. We're gonna do enough sweet pumpkin because we love sweet pumpkin. And all these years, we never used to enjoy the sweet pumpkin about it. And we never knew why, because we were children and children grow up different, right? And we always grew up very protective of one another, right? And we grew up very protective. We always grew up with that becomes the sweetness of a generation. With kindness we grow up. My mama was always very kind when she educated us, right? And so this sweet pumpkin to me is special because after I was pregnant with my first daughter, I had sweet pumpkin for the very first time, to enjoy that for the very first time probably in years, right? And then I remember the smell of the sweet pumpkin always used to make me nauseous. And that year, the sugars of it, and you can smell the sugars in the sweet pumpkin. And that year, I remember that when I started to eat it, I was smelling the sweet pumpkin and I was like, yo, that smells nice. And the whole smell and the taste in me was different. And I then started to appreciate my sweet pumpkin. So there's different ways that you can enjoy your sweet pumpkin, right? And there's different types of sweet pumpkin, but I love my sweet pumpkin the sweet way. Some people make pumpkin soup about it, and they add a whole lot of flavor to that. I have tasted it once, and I really cannot say if I agree with it, but there's different types of pumpkin for different reasons. So this type of pumpkin is your sweet type of pumpkin. You need to know when you buy your pumpkin what pumpkin is really the sweet pumpkin. And I always look at the skin of the sweet of the pumpkin, right? And I always know, okay, my type of skin, either the thick orange skin is gonna also give you a very good pumpkin, a very good orange in your pumpkin. So the pumpkin, but I need to have this flavor properly, because this flavor, this color of the sweet pumpkin, if you can now, the video gives it differently. The video gives you a yellow, and it's really a orange. And that orange is your sugared pumpkin. There's your green pumpkin. There's your different types of pumpkin that then begins to educate you. I'm gonna try the other pumpkins, and the auntie taught me next door to really try and make the sweet pumpkin soup, so that I really know what pumpkin I was really educated properly about. Because there's a different type of green pumpkin, and that's now really going to be this pumpkin soup with the cream and with the salt and with the nice flavorness of that, and that you can enjoy that with the pumpkin in the saltness of that. But the sweetness of it is that education. We're gonna properly try another type of pumpkin, and we're gonna try the pumpkin soup for Christmas. And I really want to try that. Yes, thank you. And oh, I really want to try it sometime, but I'm gonna try the pumpkin soup with the cream, yeah, and with nice butter and with nice, lovely flavor. Probably with nutmeg also, because you can think that nutmeg doesn't go in anything else other than in the pumpkin soup. Something like that. And then I'm really, this is now really a very good pumpkin. This is your type of pumpkin that you have sweet with sugar in. There's different types of pumpkin. People get it right, because pumpkin is, I didn't like it, and now it has become my favorite dish on the table. And that's about the sweet goodness of a generation that has educated ourselves. The teeth is pumpkin, and the teeth is this. And then we say, no, children kiss. And then we were born and we were the same. And we said, no, mama, we don't want that. Because children kiss all these years, we're educated about the pumpkinness of it. So we in that I'm going to really educate about the pumpkinness, the different types of pumpkin and the reasons of the pumpkin. Let me just continue with that. And it's good for us to educate ourselves on the sweetness of the generation, right? And the education in the generation. The education is sometimes different. And that's almost done for the sweet pumpkin in slices, and then we're gonna just take the skin off. So what we can do, I'm just gonna share that with everyone now. You can, when I'm done with before I take the skin off of the pumpkin, you can enjoy it sweet with the skin and also grilled also with the skin, and it's very nice. Your grilled sweet pumpkin. pumpkin is sad. The pumpkin said, why did you always stop my cooking? I wanted to educate your people about the sweet pumpkin kindness in you. Once again, in this year, the stuff the kind. The sweet pumpkin is kind, everyone. Let's put all our sweet pumpkin in the system. Yes. And our veggies are almost in. That's one part of the sweet pumpkin ready. Now veggies are steaming. There's another slice of pumpkin peeled. I'm gonna shade just one piece of pumpkin that I want to shade that you can really chop nicely with the skin of the pumpkin in. I really want to shade. Now the chance to blend. I'm just checking the problems. That's nice. One more pumpkins. Peel to go. One more pumpkin slice to do. To peel that. Let me just quickly save this for everyone. Put this in. Clean up cauliflower are almost soft. So let's just leave it there. We just want to shake it. And when we shake that, that's sweet pumpkiners. It's very nice, very amazing. And it is very, very kind. And that's the color of the sweet pumpkin. You see, it's almost like orangey. It's very nice. And I love it. I love the color of it. Me and my brother Anton used to love it a lot. And we really, no, we didn't love it. The orange is nice. We didn't want to eat it, but it's very nice. And I told my brother Anton 2020 that this is sweet pumpkin and this is how you enjoy and appreciate this. And then he really didn't have he was still not on for the sweet pumpkinness about it. But I'm really enjoying it nowadays these years, and it's very nice. So you can enjoy the sweet pumpkin in your slices with the skin on. You can enjoy it sweet with your butter with the skin on also, or you can enjoy it without the skin, right? Or you can grill it in the oven in your pumpkin with your rosemary, with your salt, and you can enjoy that with butter and grilled in the oven with the skin on, right? And that's how you have different, there's a thicker skin that you get than the skin, right? So the thicker skin is nice roasted in the oven also. And you can also roast this one, but the thicker skin is your roast pumpkin that you would want to roast in the oven. The sweet pumpkin is your sweet pumpkin that you would want to sugar. You can sugar it also with the skin, with the butter, and you can also nutmeg your pumpkin. There's a type of pumpkin that you nutmeg and salt. And your dry nutmeg and salt, dry nutmeg powder is almost like the cinnamon powder. And let me just play my cinnamon again with everyone. We're going to do today the cinnamon of it, right? So this is, I think we have some nutmeg in our cupboard, but we're not gonna now just say the nutmeg. So this is your cinnamon, right? You can enjoy the sweet pumpkin preferably with the cinnamon sticks, right? So on the label there's the cinnamon stick, and you can enjoy it with a cinnamon stick, or you can enjoy the sweet pumpkin with your fine cinnamon, with your ground cinnamon. I enjoy the sweet pumpkin preferably with a cinnamon stick, and then you can add flavor of the dried cinnamon to that if you want. But the cinnamon stick really with the sugar really gives you that flavor in the sweet pumpkin. The other type of pumpkin that I wanted, and that's why I don't want disturbances in my cupboard, right? And in my kitchen. And because the orange sun and orange sun, Malvina was busy with the orange sun and I'm busy with my sweet pumpkin orange sun, and it's really disturbing. And I was talking about the different type of pumpkins, and people have communications in the houses, and they already knew me and Barbara Anken in the pumpkin story in our family. And the people are really sometimes disturbing, and Yes, I know there's a lot of Indians that are not involved in these abuses, but the Indian husband of Malvina, you can see their whole Facebook pages and Instagram pages. They are busy being disturbant in our generation, and they're trying to pretend that they are non-disturbant. And so it's really a whole lot of these things that we need to, as a generation, we really need to check on, because otherwise our generation gets more graced with one another. And this is a type of pumpkin that you would now want to enjoy sweet with sugar on. And you would also, you can grill it, but your greener type of, with a greener skin, is your grilled type of grilled veggie pumpkin. You can also try the different types of pumpkin in grilling, right? In oven grill with your rosemary, with your oil, with your salt, and there is also your nutmeg type of pumpkin that you can make. So that's the different types of pumpkin that we really want to share on during the season. Let me just check my veggies quickly. Spring cleaning. So we have started to clean our kitchen drawer. I really like the spring cleaning thing of South Africa. In South Africa, when I was working at Nubblybuds, and it's festive and the season changes in the spring cleaning in the house, right? And I really like that of South Africa. And that we make time. We are not oppressed in our houses about how and about the perfection in our houses, but we are in that we say that everyone at spring cleaning season, and everyone gets into that mindset, and that's educative in our community. And that's what you want people to be at. And I've been disturbed with that a lot, and I've been made angry a lot, and I always didn't get angry, and everyone came to make me angry, and I was like, why y'all making me angry? Anyway, I can be this angry. And then I had to be firm and angry. But really, when you want to blossom, yes, when you blossom, you need to we have to be protective also, because such is our generation, and that's why people make you angry, to make you conscious of the fact that this is our generation, and it's like that, and it's blossoming, and it's like angry. But we also need to be in the protective education of that. That when we educate blossoming, when we educate blossoming, we don't want the education to be disturbed, right? And when the education is not disturbed, then Ribea is fine. But when you try to disturb my education, then I'm really not gonna be the friend of anyone on that day. And because sometimes you want to educate in a season, and I always say a complete season. I want to educate my season in the completeness, and then all the other educations, can be educated. And I was disturbed a lot on social media with that, with our business. But we have gone through those educations, and been fine with that. Just check my steamed veggies. Ooh, that's soft enough. Let's quickly. So today is all about our pumpkin dish. That's how pumpkin peel is nice and nice, and that's how we want it in the pot. Some people like it a little bit more fine. Really, like it just sliced, nice chopped slices. You can mash it also with butter and mash, fine mashed. That's nice. That's how we want the sweet pumpkin to be, everyone. We want it sweet. We want it nice. We want salt. Want to add sugar to that. And we want to add cinnamon to that. And we're gonna also add salt to it. Salt, cinnamon, and sugar. Now let me quickly just, sorry, and butter, yes. So that's our butter for it. That's our about that, and that is our salt about it. And we want those flavors in our pumpkin. We want sweet sugar. Let me just get the sugar, and we going to add the sugar all to that, and that makes the pumpkin nice and sweet. Sugar, please. A good amount of sugar would be very nice with a pumpkin. And good amount, 3 teaspoons, 4 teaspoons. Half of that. Mix with this that. Not teaspoons, tablespoons. Let me just get the spoon. 4 tablespoons of pumpkin. 4 tablespoons of sweet pumpkin, of sugar in the pumpkin, right? Good amount of butter in that. A teaspoon of salt, cinnamon powder. Let me just, I'm gonna share this now with everyone. Okay, also. I take the sugar pot and I pour one over there. If I want sugar over the pumpkin, and that's enough for me. Oh, there's no. So that's my sweet pumpkin, and that's the flavor that we want in our sweet pumpkin. And that's exactly sugar, 3 tablespoons of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, a nice good amount of butter, cinnamon powder, but we prefer cinnamon sticks in there. And then what we add to that is then your cinnamon sticks or cinnamon powder, your sugar, your 3 tablespoons of sugar, and good amount of butter. And then you allow that to cook through. It's very nice, and it's very, very, very kind. Let me just quickly do that. My finger is out down there. Let me just pick that up. And let that's fine. That's nice and fun. What do I always say? I always say that the cinnamon makes the pumpkin makes good water. So you would not want to add no water to it. Everyone, let's just focus on the pumpkin correctly. What Ribea Elise doesn't do with the pumpkin is I really don't like to add water to my pumpkin. So can I say I'm very specific with my sweet pumpkin? Let me just quickly get a bowl. I'm very specific with my sweet pumpkin, right? And I really do not want to have water added to the sweet pumpkin. I really do not want to add water so that the pumpkin can cook in it. You add your butter and you cook it in that, and the pumpkin has water itself. It draws water itself. We're going to share a photo now of the water that the pumpkin draws itself when it cooks, and that's why I like my pumpkin, prefer it dry. Wash your hands properly before you cook your pumpkin, and then you don't rinse your pumpkin after you have peeled your pumpkin. You leave your pumpkin as dry as it is, and that's how I make my pumpkin. I'm very specific about it. And I leave my pumpkin as dry as my pumpkin is, and I do not rinse it after I peeled it down because I washed my hands exactly before I did that. And then I exactly cook my pumpkin in the butter, the sugar, the cinnamon, the salt, because you want salt in it because it's not now gonna be too fresh because you want to enjoy every taste in the pumpkin. And then you don't add water while you're cooking it. Sometimes your pumpkin might require water if you cook it on a fast level, but if you cook it on the correct level, and if you put your stove on the correct level, then you don't have to overcook your pumpkin. Then you would want to share that in the dryness of that because it's got its own water, it's natural water, and it cooks in that natural water of that and the flavor of that. And that's how you can also cook it when you do your pumpkin soup. You do it, I prefer people to do it in the same way, the dryness of that, not too much water in. Don't let it lay in water, right? Don't let pumpkin stand in water, but in the dryness of that. Ribea Elise is a mama Anna Philander herself, and I cook very specific. Thank you. So what we are gonna do, I'm gonna add a little back and just add just little. That's exactly what we want. If you have a good pan that has a lid, so that pan's lid is a little bit bigger than the pan itself. No, a little bit smaller than the pan itself. So when you add a lid to the pan, everyone, have the lid cover all the pumpkin, right? Because it's a big pan, right? It's an open pan, it's an open cook pan. So in that pan, you cook food that you're going to want to open cook. But we're cooking our pumpkin in it because we want enough pumpkin on the plate because we're going to only focus today on our meat, our pumpkin, and our steamed veggies and our potatoes with it. So when we have added the lid to it because you're going to want the waterness of the pumpkin. So you add your lid to that. You cover your pumpkin with that. That's very, very nice. My milkshake is very nice, everyone. We're gonna share the milkshake recipe this week for our pregnancy fruits for this week video. Our pregnancy fruit video is coming through with our pregnancy fruit video is coming through with our nice milkshake, right? What we're gonna do this week, we're gonna do the milkshake one, and then we're gonna try and do the milkshake in the milkshake cold way of it, and in the chocolatey way of that. So we're gonna flavor it in a few flavors. Hopefully the chocolate way, but we really want to do the milkshake flavor for our nurturingness, right? We add fruit to that. We've got a banana, yogurt, we added ice cream to it, and we added milk to this. And I wanted to add it with cinnamon on top, but it really doesn't require cinnamon. It looks nice, right? It looks like you order your dessert. So we're not having this for dessert, we're enjoying this already as a snack, as a morning snack. Has anyone had the oddness in the kitchen where your husband makes odd comments? I had that numerous times that I had to close my video and overdo the video whole time. And that's how my kitchen was now disturbed this morning. But sometimes husbands try that. I think we are sometimes maybe spending a bit too much time on cell phones, but I really don't think it's that. I also think it is that everyone has to educate ourselves in our households and in our relationships, so that this is now part of the usness. Some families do it together, other couples and other husbands like their own privacy, and they like their privacy for different reasons. And wives likes to say sometimes that they are very outspoken, and they are where they are in their season, and the season looks amazing, and the season has got a lot of things happening, and the world needs to sometimes know that, because we never only thinking of ourselves, because how people go through a lot of challenges in this world. And when people go through challenges, they sometimes require people to listen in to our houses when we are going through challenges. Let me just check with that. When we are going through challenges, we are sometimes required to have people listen into our houses. No, when we go through challenges, we educate about the challenges. So you don't keep it to yourself, because someone else might give you an opinion, or God might give you assistance and might tell you what to do when you find yourself in an environment that is sometimes a little bit odd or aggressive. And that's why people do live streaming. It's not for any other reason. It's because a lot of things happen in this world. In South Africa specifically, when Americans probably went through a lot of things in marriages. And we are very, very not doing that to say that we are not all wanting to now have our businesses be for that reason. No, but we are having to say that, woman, let's educate one another, and let's be open and honest about it, and let's give honest opinions and have everyone be fine. And that is our generation. Nice, cook a little bit nice and fine and soft. What we're gonna do is to dress Tracy today with a yellow coat, and that's gonna be our spring wear for today. And we're gonna share just now on the complete setting of the cooking. The cook is still cooking, and Doreen said, but I had to cook it early because of the mutton. That takes some time. And what I would have done, I would have probably put it in itself in the pot, yeah. And so it's cooking quite some time, and then it must be really nice and really soft. And then he added potatoes to that. He added garlic. He added cumin. No, not cumin. He added, what's the spice that we had last week? He added Cajun beef spice. He added that to it. So we're really gonna enjoy his flavor today. He loves cooking. He cooks very nice, but he loves his privacy when he's cooking. And that's very nice. And our tree is nice today. I'm looking at our tree. It looks very, very nice and kind. stir your pumpkin, take the pot and make so if you can, and if you stir it light. And then the light stir of the pumpkin. Let me quickly get my coat because I really can feel the way it's very strong. Let's do our pink code for our video because we're gonna do our yellow code for our photos. Or the yellow and the pink code would be nice for the photo. Well, lovely, lovely, lovely. Let's just reveal the water to everyone. Just reveal the water flavor. And that's where we want our pumpkin to be. And you see now that's the juiciness of the pumpkin, and that's what you want, the butterness, the waterness, and the juiciness. And what we do is we add the lid to that so that we can really enjoy the sweetness of the pumpkin, the way that we cook it, and not the way that someone else wants us to cook it, and not the way that someone else tells you that pumpkin is this and that, but your education on that is that this pumpkin is amazing, but you have to allow yourself to cook it fine and to cook it the way you love to cook it, right? Your different types of pumpkins, and there's going to be different pumpkin recipes that we might share. We're going to probably try a different type of pumpkin also. And with a different type of pumpkin, we're probably going to grill the pumpkin with grilled veggies. But that's now for the salty Christmas, for the salty warmer season that we are starting. So we started with a sweet pumpkin. Why? Because it's just been spring season, and with after spring season, we start our pumpkin with our salty dishes. So then you would now, Doreen took the rice away. I call my rice my mama mata rice. I would now wanted my spice rice with that, and my meat with that, and a baked potato with that, together with a steamed veggie, because now you're going to the saladness of the food, and that's gonna be nice. And then you go to the oven roast of that, and then you're gonna be by the hotness, the summerness of those flavors. So enjoy and embrace the sweetness of the pumpkin, and it's amazing, and it's tasting very, very nice. Yeah, so let's just quickly share our once again, just for everyone, because we love it, and we want to say today that We want everyone to know that we are focusing on the sweetness of the pumpkin and the seasoness, the saladness, the sweetness of that, embracing that. And what we are going to enjoy towards years is exactly our steamed veggies, our broccoli, our cauliflower, nice flavors, lovely flavors in the kitchen. And why we are doing the sweet pumpkin season is because we're doing the salad season. And I love my sweet pumpkin, and everyone knows I love my sweet pumpkin. Between the carrots of the winterness and the sweetness of the kumaraness and the pumpkinness, and the sweet pumpkin has become the favorite. Salad, we oven grill also with roast during the season. The sweet pumpkin oven roasted that with your meat. And today we're starting it with the sweetness of not oven grilling it, but enjoying it in the sweetness on the table with your red meat together with your steamed veggie. It would have been nice with the rice, yes, with our Mama Martha rice, a 93 or 100-year-old rice. So rice is not on the table today, but we have a 100-year generation sweet pumpkin that are educated also in the same way that Ribea loves and has learned to embrace it. The same way we learn to embrace our Mama Martha rice. And if we had Mama Martha rice, we would have done it with a pumpkin. And we are doing this today, sweet pumpkin veggies, pot roast with potatoes. Aaron's mutton is cooking, and when his mutton is done, then we're gonna just share it quickly with everyone. His garlic, his mutton, his cajun flavor in the mutton and in his red meat, and it's looking very nice and it's smelling very nice. You can smell the garlic flavor, you can smell the meat, you can smell his cajun spice of that, and we enjoy it together with the potato, and then that would be very nice today. We do that very plain and simple, yeah. Quickly. Here's my chair into thing. But I don't want to do that. Oh, y'all are not fighting about Zelensky Krakowski. And now we enjoy our milkshake with our nice Christmas cup, yes. And in our Christmas cup, buy yourself, this is by Kmart. Thank you for Team Kmart, the amazing team. Buy yourself your milkshake cup. Enjoy your milkshake with a straw. And then what we also do with this straw is we also allow ourselves, let me just rinse that up. We also allow ourselves to eat our milkshake with a straw, and then there's the fineness is in the milkshake that you're gonna want to enjoy, right? How does everyone say? Let me just check what I would do with this. What would you do with your banana in your milkshake? Would you do what I'm gonna do now? Let me just check. There's still a little bit banana. Let me just check if I would do that. Oh, the fineness of the milkshake. Oh, it's nice. And scoopy and flavory and fruity. Yeah, my Kiara likes to love. looking like that, everyone. What's Amy Oliver gonna do when Ribea do that? Okay. What's happening in the celebrity house when they do that? Probably nothing. So when I eat this with like that, and I say, Ribea, I'm spoken. Ribea, say what's up in this universe? Everyone's doing that nowadays, and it's amazing. All the women are doing that. Because some people harm one another because someone has been in the restaurant and they've maybe enjoyed their food and they enjoyed it differently than other people would enjoy it, and then someone are being killed about it. No, our generation shouldn't do that, and that's what Ribea Elise said. You're gonna now harm me in my own kitchen about my ways of life, and that everyone are doing, and no one wants to see that. Why should the world not educate one another? And everyone nowadays on the social media pages, they eat like that. Another woman on a social media page was like, this is happening and this is what I would normally do. And then she was like eating her food. And then Kiara also, but one day I was really at a restaurant and I really wanted to sit fine, and Kiara was not really sitting so, and then I was like, I'm not there yet where I educate Kiara to sit up when she eats. And now Kiara Hannah has to really have to sit like that, right? Ribea Elise's daughter can now not sit like that when I'm now really the mother who now really now just wants to now enjoy the food. And then Kiara was eating a pizza and then she was sitting like that and eating, and I'm like, no, man. I have not even had the time to educate my daughter to sit up, and I'm not good with whoever that's educating her to sit like that. And then I was like, sit properly. Who's educating my daughter like that? And sometimes we just have to speak loud about it. And they say, no, it's no one doing it. And they say that sometimes we are fine with the way of education, but you know yourself as a person. You know the type of person Ribea. I mean, Ribea, at that day, do that in the restaurant. And the whole world has got Google in on Ribea all these years. And the whole world knows that Ribea is now really not just doing that because he wants to eat like that. And someone else says, no, but what if someone looks in and see that the person is not eating like that? Then you say, such is this world. We eat the way we want to, we sit the way we want to, we educate right when we can because we can educate right, but let everyone be fine because such is humanity. And our kitchens are disturbed because someone wants you to just sit like this and now to just sit and eat and now not do that. And someone was sitting and eating and they just ate the way that they want to. And we sometimes just have to do what we want to because the world is requiring us to just do what we want to do, certain stuff. Nowadays, when people do that, and the house is disturbed, and the knife is in the kitchen, and the husband comes in angry, and the husband shouts the whole day, and Ribea says, why is this husband so angry? But I stand my ground anyway, and I say what I want to say, and I look at you, and I'm thinking, but what you're on about? And then you learn, okay, people are just odd sometimes, and the world is just like that sometimes. They go this way and that way sometimes. And we just need to sometimes, when the world is like this and that, they will look at the husband and we have woken them in season, but we stand our ground and we don't fight in our kitchens and we don't argue with one another because the pumpkin season is about the long teeth and the angriness of that and the anger in our generation. But we're not anger, we are reprimandative and we are kind to ourselves. And our generation is that this is the wisdom teeth, and you apply wisdom in any given season, but we are educated about the structure of the face, the facial smile, and all of that, and the aliens that has been part of mankind that might still be out there in the universe that are educating us. And in those days, they want us to appreciate the whole look, and the whole look is there's a teeth there, and we do the hairstyle, and we do the hair flick there, and we say that this is them, they are aliens, they are amazing part of the universe, and don't aggress them because they can get very angry also. Everyone actually pumpkin, let me just take a minute soft. It's really doing everything that it's required. Oh, I can do a little bit soft with that. looks very nice. Sweet popcorn. Korean's meat is almost ready. Let me just quickly check my cinnamon sweet pumpkin with everyone. That's now cooked, everyone. And now you are gonna have to now enjoy that cooking about it. And that's now soft, and that's how we want it. Now we're gonna put the stove off. We're gonna add the lid to that. We're gonna add the lid to that, and then we are going to add our grilled. And then we are going to just leave everything so until we're gonna plate the table, and then we're gonna share the video of the meat and the potatoes with everyone. Just switch this off so that we can warm it before we plate it. Our basis is off. We can warm that before we plate it. And that's now that. Let me just put it on the plate. This is okay. That's now. So this is very nice. So that's what we want to put our pumpkin in. And that's what we going to. That's nice for the Christmas season, right? It is our nice and warm platters. You put your rice sometimes in that if you really want to set the table nicely. It's nice to warm your food also in the oven, and to warm your rice also in the oven. It's nice and big platter for the Christmas table also. And we're gonna probably start sharing the Christmas table decoration things that we really want to do, right? We want to really share I want to think what is gonna be a Christmas theme for this year. And that goes together with the table setting, your theme for this year, your complete opinion, right? Ribea Elise's complete opinion. Normally, basically the same ways, but my Christmas theme normally gives me an idea of what I want to share, right? So let me just quickly once again share Christmas corner to with everyone. So that's now exactly how tranquil that we are enjoying to have presents in our Christmas season. And that's a Merry Christmas Santa Claus moment there. And this is our team preparing that. And that's our foundation cup for our households, and for funding and support in that, so that you can really support AWOKH Business. Because AWOKH Business is at home, we do it in the comfort of our own households, and it includes everything: education, it includes motivation, it is very as professional as it can be, very that there is awakeness required in a season, that is everything that our generation required to be educated about. And another thing that we also do is, yes, we do relationship talks, not the perfect relationship that you want to look at and you want to only tell yourself that in this world nothing can go wrong about relationships. We exactly educated that this is 18 years marriage, and it can be crazy and chaotic. Ribea Elise educates that. And that's the Santa Claus moments. Center cups we're gonna share on our table, yes, and the table centerpiece is gonna again be the candle, yes, and we're going to again share in that, and in our nice seasons color and enjoyment of that education. That's good, that's good, that's good. Everyone, before I close the video with that, let me just quickly check. Veggies, sweet pumpkin veg, steamed veggies, and then our meat. Let me just clean up that. We're gonna do picnic also, everyone. Ribea Elise is going to do picnic also. Picnic moment. Let me just think. Picnic platter outside before our Christmas season. Yeah. Last year we did a New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve picnic. We're gonna do the whole picnic setting again this year. And we do that every year. The realist is again gonna do that with everyone. And then we're gonna check what we're gonna have for on the Christmas table for alcohol. Vodka, nice smoothies. I really say don't change your wine so that you are normally drinking to something else during a Christmas season. Because Ribea Elise has seasons with drinking alcohol. I always had seasons. And when you enjoy your alcohol, when you enjoy your vodka with your nice flavors and with your nice punch flavors, right? When you make the martini and you make when you enjoy the nice Christmas martinis and all of those nicenesses that we can do with the vodka, then we do that. I can't now really allow us to say that you go to the store and you see that there's a new invention and you go and buy that. No. My auntie the other day said, you know what? We only used to do our whiskeys, and the uncle, 70-year-old, and the auntie used to make the whiskey. Auntie Fan and Uncle Pizafta used to make the whiskey, and when they made the whiskey, my Auntie Fan said that the whiskey that they make these years are totally different than those years. They really made whiskey those years the way whiskey are required to be made. And these years, everyone has changed a lot, and my Auntie Fan and Uncle Pizafta has worked in the whiskey industry. Made whiskey, right? So another thing, so your vodka, your flavors, your fruits, your juicinesses together with that is that you enjoy on your table. Last year I went to go to the store and someone invited me to their house, and when I got home someone had the same cups that I had. I was introduced to the cups. I was somewhere at a party and someone introduced me to those cups. And I went to Kmart and Kmart had the cups, and a friend called me and said I had the exact same cups. And that's fine communication in our generation. And sometimes if people are not really going to buy the cups because Ribea Elise is going to buy the cups, then it becomes communication of someone told you that someone said to Ribea to buy these cups or something about that name of the cups. So those are your punch cups, your nice cups, right? That we had last year on the picnic table. And this year we're gonna do the same, and we're gonna do the flavors, but we're gonna do. Last year we had a type of vodka, and we're gonna do that same type of vodka this year. It was a very nice vodka, and we're probably gonna do that same flavor after that, because we do not want anyone to change their alcohols. Because if you change your alcohols and if you go and drink everything that's in the bar, then you're gonna be all over the place in a generation. And we always say, just drink alcohol so that you are used to. Don't go and change, because people do a lot of things with alcohol these years. Let me quickly just see this. Oh, it looks nice. Oh, it looks like lots of spice, Dorian. So let's say that before we close the video, everyone. That's Dorian's mutton and his potatoes that I'm gonna grill for him. And then we're gonna add that to the table. That's our meat for the day. And let me just see our window. Who doesn't like our window? Ooh, it's lovely and kind. We love it. It's very nice. And that's exactly where we're going to enjoy that mutton with our flavors. Before we close, let's once again share our pumpkin and our veggies. And then we're gonna get ready for if we want to have lunch now or later. And then we're gonna share that with everyone. That's nice. And that's about that. Another thing that I wanted to say before we're gonna conclude this another thing that I wanted to say is that that's gonna be plated and ready for the table. Ready, set, go, and then we're gonna do our photo session today. And that's it with Ribea Elise, everyone. Enjoy your season. We have educated on not what you want, but what is available for you. That's what's available in our kitchen today, and we remain with that. We really are going to have our table set the way we had it last year. Our Christmas is more for salads, and we more enjoy our salads during Christmas season. And it's almost Kiara's birthday. Yes, don't forget the 8th of October. Kiara's birthday, the 8th of October. And we are also preparing for a birthday. We don't really do a lot. We just do a birthday breakfast, and she goes for lunch, or we take her for lunch, or she has to decide what she wants to do for the day. And then we're just gonna do the breakfast with her, a normal breakfast, a normal birthday setup, and really what she wants to do. And that's it for that today, and for enjoying the season. Spring season, crazy, chaotic. Do your blossoming, don't change for anyone. Do not change for anyone, woman. Some people want to undress you, and some people want your house to be empty, and some people want your clothes out of your cupboard, and other people are jealous of you, the person. Some people are jealous of you, your business. It's a whole lot that is happening in the world. Let's say this: husbands are jealous of wives' businesses. Husbands normally want it for their sisters and for their families. And our generation is exactly like that. It is that people want it for them. People are married today with husbands who have planned to marry wives, so that they want wives out of the world. And they are working in some countries, has really been in challenges where husbands and wives had fights, and husbands gave wife medication, and many wives are not on earth anymore today. And South Africa has been educated about that many years ago. A few years ago, I remember has looked upon the education in our generation to be conscious of husband and wives and the marriages, and some guys discussing to marry you, and the house goes chaotic, and the whole world is tuned in on it. And then some woman only is alive until 50 years, until 60 years, and then husbands, medication in the house and medication in the kitchen cabinet. So there has been plans for many times, many generations has planned that against one another. Normally, we don't know that we are in marriages like that, so be a bit cautious in your houses, cautious in the kitchens. The Mr. and Mrs. Smith film, it educates us that to be cautious in the kitchens. The film doesn't normally tell us everything that happens in the picture of it. No, the films just explain certain things, and we have to make time to listen to what does the film actually mean to our generation. And another thing that I wanted to say about the husbands and wife in the kitchen fights. Yes, be cautious if your husband, yes, husbands and the familyness of that. Remember, African wives that are married to white guys, African wives that are married to colored guys. The colored and the African argument in our generation is normally in our households. The white and African argument in our generation is normally in our households. And some people really hate the African people. They hate the African Americans for their strength and for their education and for all that they have. And when they look upon Ribea Elise, then Dorian wrote them many times, so signs of that. And we have to be conscious of that. And Ribea is very conscious of that. I'm very firm, and I do not play about it. And South Africa knows, because me and Dorian don't hide it. And that I'm really not, I'm not a scared person, and I can defend myself, and I'm very, very strong in the upper body. And it is that we don't prepare ourselves for one another. But Relationship Talk tomorrow is going to focus exactly on anything and everything, because our generation has to know that no one is going to mess with no one's food in the kitchen. I cook my own food, and no one is going to mess with no one's coffee in the kitchen, because our generation is amazing. And if people have to divorce, then people have to do that. And they have to find themselves, and if husbands doesn't say nothing and they just eat strangely today and eat, then you find yourself in an environment that is fine, or you go on with your day, or you find out if the husband is really now just having a day about it, or if there's not really something happening here about the situation. And that's how such is our generation. But we are not unattentive of the challenges of marriages and the marriage vow of mankind. It can sometimes be challenging, the one the other. And we're not going to paint the perfect picture, and then later we hear that someone is not there anymore and they had the most perfect marriage, and then someone had a spike in their tea or in the coffee, in their food, and then the people are not there anymore. Then we call it natural causes in this world. Ribea Elise say nothing like natural causes anymore. We're attentive to what is happening happening in this world, and that is amazing. That's our generation. We are very awoken generation, and we have to embrace it, but we have to be very, very firm with saying that honestly, I'm not going to be intimidated about this or that. And that is just where we are at in our season. So that's it, everyone. We're going to see the table later on. Have an amazing Sunday further.